Hi and welcome to Supply Chain Today. Here we discuss the latest hot topics in supply chain and global trade with experts from all around the world. My name is Ben and I'm going to be your host for this special episode. Today I'm joined with our guest speaker, Andrea Nalbaru. Andrea is a SAP GTS architect in Krypt. She has over 8 years of professional experience. In the last 6 years, her focus was in SAP area, especially in GTS and SD module. She participated in implementation and upgrade projects in different industries like chemical, pharmaceutical, automotive, and many others. Today, she will be discussing with us SAP GTS and her favorite module, trade preference. It is amazing to have you with us, Andrea. How are you doing?
Hi Ben, it's really nice to see you again. I'm really excited about this podcast. So I'm really excited to go more in the subject because it's my favorite module.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining today. And also, before we go forward, I would like to remind all our listeners that you can submit your questions by clicking the link found in the description. We have some questions for Andrea today, and they are as follows. So, what is SAP GTS and why a company needs such a product?
Okay, so SAP Global Trade Services is a software that can help minimize the risk for your suppliers by managing inbound and outbound custom processes, empowering with real-time visibility across their supply chain, and also will help your client to ensure strict compliance to dynamic regulatory changes. So SAP GTS helps you manage your foreign trade processes in a more efficient way, and also it will increase your competitivity in the global market. The solution ensures that you will comply with the legal requirements. It will facilitate smooth customs and foreign trade management. And here we can also include the electronic communication with the customs authorities, which is a topic that everyone is fascinated about.
So, when we are talking about trade process, is really important to ensure our clients that we can cover all their needs. How complex is SAP GTS and which processes are actually covered?
So this is the best part with SAP GTS. It can adapt to your client needs. All processes are integrated, and here I'm also referring to the inbound production and outbound scenarios, and also to the integration with other feeder systems, with other ERP systems like GTS, and it's also a non-authorized product from a customs perspective. SAP GTS is a complex system with a lot of advantages, and this is why we need to understand the broad set of capabilities which are satisfying the global, industry, and region-specific global trade requirements. I will mention here the three main modules: compliance, customs, and risk management. We can discuss about each one in other episodes if you want. There are so many things to say about it, and it's a complex and a wonderful topic from my point of view.
Yeah, indeed, it's a complex and wonderful topic. In this case, let's discuss about your experience with SAP GTS. I remember you told me that you are a risk management expert. Can you give me more details about it?
Yes. So I'm a trade preference and identity-based preference processing expert, which are part of the risk management module. I also have experience with customs and compliance, but as I was mentioning in the beginning, trade preference will remain my first love. It was also my first implementation project on GTS, so we have a special connection there. So during my GTS experience, I only worked on implementation and upgrade projects on various industries, starting with chemical, pharmaceutical, automotive, and many, many others. So I think this is why trade preference is really important for me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm hearing trade preference again and again. So what exactly is trade preference? Which trade process are covered by this module?
So let's start with some introductions. So international trade requires complying with various rules most of which SAP Global Trade Services can assist with. So when you are importing goods into another country, buyers typically pay duties. So these duties are in place to raise money and protect domestic manufacturers from foreign competition. And preference processing in SAP GTS can support in two ways: in meeting the legal requirements for customs preference and also in identifying their goods as eligible preferred goods. What means that if a product is eligible for preferential treatment, the exporter's customer can import these goods duty-free or at a reduced rate of import duties. The big advantage here is that it will give your customer a competitive advantage.
Okay, so if I understood correctly, this module helps you to identify if a product is eligible or not. What are the features of preference processing or trade preference?
So I think you can already be an expert in trade preference because you really understood the idea.
Yeah.
There are many benefits which are coming with SAP GTS, especially with trade preference. The first one will be that you can manage vendor-based long-term vendor declarations, so these LTVDs, and also the LTVDs for customers' purpose. Also, the preference calculation is based on preference agreement and preference models for all the standardized products. And another important advantage is that you can make a statement on the preference eligibility of a product based on the preference determination, which we discussed 2 minutes ago. And the last step will be that you can print this preference statement as PDF forms.
What types of statements can you print?
So you can print a lot of forms with GTS. Here we can include the requests and reminders for the LTPD, the blanket certificate of origin, for example, in case of the agreement USMCA, the long vendor declarations. Also, you can print the revocation form in case of LTPD. And one nice thing is that you can print the certificate of origin in case you are integrating trade preference with customs.
Can you explain the process flow? How can you determine the status for your products?
Preference determination is one of the most complex areas of customs law. So with SAP GTS, you can eliminate the risk and the complexity while providing instant cost savings to you and your customers. For that, I will make a short overview of the process. So the process is actually starting with master data. We are transferring this from a feeder system, an ERP system, master data like materials, BOMs, prices, procurement indicators, and many other master data. I think master data is the most important prerequisite that we need. This is why we really need to pay attention to the master data which we are transferring. We need to have clean master data. As soon as you have all this master data transferred in the GTS system, you can already start your processes. So there are three main processes in GTS: the inbound, production, and outbound processes. To make a short description about each one, so the inbound process is actually referring to that part when you are requesting an LTVD from your suppliers. So for the materials which are purchased, the production side is the process when you are calculating the preferential status for your in-house products. And the outbound process is when you are sending a status, a declaration to your customers with the preferential status of your products.
What is the difference between trade preference and IBPP?
Yes, IBPP, which is coming from identity-based preference processing. The processes are similar, The only difference is that in standard trade preference, we are determining the preference status at the product BOM level. And with IBPP, the status is determined at batch level. This is a solution that will be really useful for companies that are using batches.
Okay. So can SAP GTS be integrated only with SAP system?
Now, this is the best part. SAP GTS is indeed an add-on system, but it can be integrated with other ERP systems as well.
Wow, that sounds awesome. So finally, so to sum everything that was said right now, what are the main benefits?
There are some key benefits of using SAP GTS as your trade solution, and some of them will allow you to automate global trade compliance, cost effectively manage all aspects of global trade operations, also to accelerate the global supply chain, and really important, it will reduce the time and costs of complying with all the global trade regulation, which is something really difficult for our customers.
Exactly. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for your insightful episode with us today, Andrea. I'm
It
sure
was a
alongside,
pleasure.
yeah, all the listeners will say that this has been amazing. The users of GTS has, I mean, it has opened up a lot of educational stuff here, and I'm sure everyone will find it useful. Appreciate all of your efforts, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you in many more other episodes too. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
yes, I told you there are so many things to discuss.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So again, I would like to remind all the listeners today that you can be part of our podcast by submitting your questions when you click in the link that is in the description below. Thank you again for joining us. This is Supply Chain Today. Cheers.